Shalom, shalom. Let's start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our heavenly power, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. All right, I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and taught me this truth. Shalom to the Yahawah, which is the house of David. Shalom to the sincere Akwath, you sisters who are staying in order according to the scriptures. And shalom to the large multitude, that 1/3 that will be saved on this side from the nuclear holocaust. All right, the 1/3 that will repent and hearken unto the word of Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. All right, I'm your brother Shemayim, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi. And like always, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect. Let's get straight to it. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? And this word devices goes into plan, his scheme, his agenda. All right, that's I was gonna say this man Esau Edom, all right. Ultimately, the nation of who the world calls the so-called white man, if you will. All right, but Esau Edom, right? He is the physical counterpart of Satan, man. All right, Esau Edom worships Satan. That's their god. Starting with the head tribe of Esau Edom, Amalek, or the Amalekites, which is the 1948ers, right? The big nose, the small hats, those people that are living in our land right now, in the land of Israel, if you will. Those are not the real biblical Israelites, if you will. Okay? Ultimately, right, who they truly are, their biblical ethnicity or nationality is Esau Edom. All right? And they are the ones that are ruling the world. All right? They are the wicked, if you will. Okay? And ultimately, what they trying to do, right, is to have the whole world in their grip, in their hand, having the whole world fully submit to them, and one of their ultimate plans, which through spirit, right, is actually the Lord's plan, right, is to bring out the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip, right? That is the mark of the beast, which is written in Revelations, all right? And it's interesting because I was just watching Demolition, man, all right? And it's an old movie. I know a lot of you sincere listeners have watched it and know where I'm going with this, all right? But in the movie Demolition, man, which came out in 1993, which is interesting because that was actually the year that I was born, but in 1993 when that movie came out, which is actually a good movie. I purchased it on YouTube. It's actually a good movie, an interesting movie, entertaining movie. But through the spirit, when we watch these movies, the men of the Lord or anybody that's in the spirit of Yahawah Bahashim Yahawashi, right? They're always watching with a spiritual eye, if you will. A spiritual eye salve, if you will. And then, as we're watching these particular movies, we're always picking up on little hints and things that Esau Edom puts in there subliminally, if you will. In this movie, right, they put in that microchip. And it wasn't subliminal in the sense, because they put it out there. They were literally like, the main part of the movie was expressing what this chip is going to do, and we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. We know, right? We know that this chip of his, right, he's trying to have full control of everybody. And, if you don't have this, he's going to try to unalive you, if you don't take this, All right, and we're actually walking into those times where the chip is about to be enforced on the people, man. It's only a matter of time. All right. That being said, right, I looked up, quick Google search. All right, and this is an AI overview. It says, in the movie Demolition, man, and just in case, I doubt it, but just in case this is fair use, all right, this is strictly for research. This is for, teaching, okay? This is fair use. This is not being monetized. I make no money off any of my videos. All right, it says, in the movie Demolition Man, the microchip implanted in the hands of citizens serves several purposes. It acts as a form of identification, enabling transaction and access to services. It also plays a role in enforcing the strict rules of the society, including the verbal morality code, right? By identifying individuals who use banned language. The chip also facilitates payment and access to necessities, as all transactions are done through it. Additionally, the microchip ensures that criminals like Simon Phoenix, which I was like the villain, if you will, of the movie, right, which was played by Wesley Snipes, all right, cannot easily evade the system and operate within the societal structure. All right, so ultimately, it's interesting because that's exactly what they want to do in real life. Once you're chipped, whatever they say, even if it sounds horrible, right? If you don't comply with Esau Edom and his corrupt ruling, if you will, right, you're gonna suffer for it, right? I think there was a part where Wesley Snipes, he swore like 3 times. He got 3 tickets for it, but after the 3rd time, or after the 2nd time, right, they called the police on him. And the police went to try to arrest him, which they failed, which was interesting, But let me continue. It says, here's a more detailed breakdown. Identification and transaction. The chip acts as a form of personal identification, allowing citizens to make purchase and utilize services, right? And this right here lines up with the precepts, with the scriptures, right? Which I'll get in a few. I just want to continue. It says, enforcement of the verbal morality code. The chip is linked to a system that identifies individuals who swear or use banned language, leading to fine or other penalties, right? And this part right here, right? Limited autonomy, so like if I'm mispronouncing that, it says, Simon Phoenix, who was not given a chip, is unable. So right, he wasn't given a chip. It says, is unable to utilize the financial system or even access basic necessities, highlighting the chip importance in societal functioning. And it's very interesting how Google AI or whatever will phrase this, but this is exactly what the change in society with technology will lead to, man. To the point that you're gonna need the chip to survive out here, man. All right, but we're here to warn you, the men of Yahawashi, that this chip is gonna be your downfall. That this microchip is the mark of the beast. All right, and if you take this mark of the beast, right, damnation is in your forecast, is in your future, and only the elect, right, starting with the 144,000 men, but also that 1/3, the ones that'll be saved from the nuclear holocaust, right, they won't receive this mark of the beast. They won't take it. Some of us will even be a martyr, right? Because we're going to be forced to take it, and if we don't take it, they're going to unalive us. So from there, let's grab the scriptures, all right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 6, all right? And let me mention this, man. This movie came out in 1993, right? They've been putting this in our brains, right? They've been putting this in the movies, all right? They put this on social media. They put this in the movie. They put this in anything that has to do with entertainment. Why? Right? That's the question. Why? Why do they do this? Right? One is because they believe in bad karma. Right? This devil believes that if he don't tell you in your face, because our people are so gullible, they'll tell you in the face what their plan is, but our people choose not to believe it. You know, and not just our people, you know, even other low-level Edomites and these heathens, but our people is who we actually worried about, you know, in the sense as, you know, salvation is for the nation of Israel, right? And we know that the number one enemy of Esau, Edom, is our people, right? So we're here to warn our people and let our people know before it's too late. You know, let me see. Let me get this. This is the word desensitized, right? It says, having been made less sensitive, having been made less likely to feel shock or distress at scenes of cruelty or suffering by over exposure to such images. That's exactly what it is, man. You know, Esau, Edom is desensitizing, you know, if I'm pronouncing that right, desensitizing the whole world, but first and foremost, right, 2/3 of our people, man. All right, because when this chip comes out, you know, the way that, you know, they're putting it out there right now with Elon Musk and his Neuralink technology, and the way that technology is increasing with microchips and all the so-called benefits and well-beings or convenience, if you will, that this microchip is going to bring, right? What it actually is doing is desensitizing our people, man. All right, but we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, like we mentioned, the elect, right? Lord willing, I'm found in that number, and you should see it, brothers and sisters, right? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. Now, let's get Psalm 64 and 6. It says, they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. It says, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. You know, and they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Esau goes above and beyond, right? Esau went above and beyond to create this microchip. And let me get this. Let me make this clear. Yahawashi did this ultimately. He put the spirit on these Edomites to create this technology. He put the spirit on these Edomites to create these nuclear weaponry, right? The Lord is in control of everything. This is the Lord's movie, right? 2/3 of our people are meant to take this. The rest of the world is meant to take this. Only the elect will not take it, right? It is because of the elect. Let me get that real quick. Matthew 24. You know, Matthew's 24. Matthew's 24, verse 21. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. You know? I'll leave it there. So now let's go back. Let's go back to Psalm 64, which I got the NLT, the New Living Translation, which, you know, is dope because I was actually reading it, and, you know, this precept, and, well, let me read it to you guys so you guys can see the depth of what that meant in verse 6. But as a matter of fact, I started at verse 4, right? Psalm 64 and 4 says, they shoot from ambush at the innocent, attacking suddenly and fearlessly. Right, verse 5, it says, they encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. That's Esau Edom for you, man. If you don't understand how these elites move, right? And let me put it in simple terms, the Illuminati and the Freemasons, because that's what these normal people understand, right? Because some people, you know, the whole world has a certain level now of you know, the Illuminati and the Freemasons, you know, but it's deeper than them. You know what I mean? It's deeper than the Illuminati and the Freemasons. It goes back to the Rothschild, the Rockefeller, the Bilderberg, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the 13 wealthiest families, including the Pope. You know, it's or the Roman Catholic Church, if you will. You see, it goes back to the ultimately the 1948ers, the ones in control, right? Even the 1948s in Israel are low-level Edomites, because I'm talking about these wealthy families. They have control, like the Rothschild, that control the education system. You see, that control the food industry, if you will. That control the medical industry, if you will. That control the pharmaceuticals, if you will. That control everything. That are polluting our air. You see? Polluting our fabrics, our water. Let's continue, right? Verse 5 says, they encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret, right? They encourage themselves to do evil. They plan how to set their traps in secret. And one of those traps is this microchip, man, the mark of the beast, right? I'm going to continue. It says, who will ever notice, they ask. They really think that they're gonna get away with this, that no one sees what they're scheming. Verse 6, as they plot their crime, they say, we have devised a perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and mind are cunning. And that's Esau, man. Esau's that cunning hunter. All right. Let's get Revelation 13:6. It says, and he opened his mouth. That's not what I want. It's Salakia. Let me just get the whole chapter. Revelation 13:16. Right, that's what I want. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? That sounds like Demolition, man. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, right? Because then you won't be able to function in society. It says, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And the mark, the name of the beast, and the number are synonymous, right? Let's continue. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of the man, and his number is 603.6. So 666 is going to be in barcode written, if you will, inside the chip, the microchip. Right, from there, let's get First Timothy 4:16. It says, take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save himself, so like it save thyself and them that hear thee. You see? So you gotta follow the doctrine that Yahawashi, right, gave us. Right? The testimony of our Lord Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy. Right? We are prophesying and warning you and letting you know that the microchip is the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. All right, Ezekiel 3:17, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. So the Lord has made us watchmen. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. We're giving you this warning. All right, Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in the forehead or in his hand. So what's going to happen if you partake in trying to establish yourself, so like establish thyself, or trying to save your life, right? by receiving this mark of the beast so that you can function in society, what's going to happen is this, Revelation 14:10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angel and in the presence of the Lamb. You're going to be caught up in these missiles, man, in these ICBM missiles in the time of World War III. Now, let me get this real quick. I'll finish off with this, Matthew 16:25. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it, man. And it don't mean go unalive yourself for the Lord, right? If we can be martyred for the Lord, you know, and then we still got this victory, you know, because the elect has the victory no matter what. It's all for the elect's sake. But whosoever shall try to save their life, who wants to be able to survive and live in this society, right? In the sense that once this microchip comes, right? You want to still be partakers of this society, you're going to lose it, man. It's going to be your downfall because you're trusting in Esau Edom, but not just trusting. You're bending over. How you say you bowing? Yeah, you're bowing to Esau Edom, and you're looking at him, putting him on a pedestal as your God, fully submitting yourself, fully trusting him, man. All right, and that's gonna be your downfall. You're gonna lose your life for that, you know. And with that, you know, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the elect. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. All right, Lord willing, on to the next lesson. Shalom.